Citi News.
It's midday. A very good afternoon to you and welcome to the Citi Prime News on 97.3 Citi FM. We are live from our studios at number 11 Dr. Martin Loop in Adabraka, Accra. The news is also live on all our partner stations across the country and around the world. We are live on citinewsroom.com. My name is Hawa Idrisu Mustafa, and this afternoon I'm here with
Kweku Ediama Ansa.
Coming up, political activities reach a climax in Ashanti Region's Kumewu constituency with barely 24 hours to the by-election. Meanwhile, the Electoral Commission has issued a stern warning to polling agents in the election to comport themselves during the entire process. Also coming up, the disconnection of power to the St. Anne's Hospital in the Savannah region lead to the death of 2 babies.
From the very first time they disconnected us, we lost a baby. And the second time, we lost another. We currently have 3 at the NICU, and the babies are in critical condition.
Still ahead, Ghana Meteorological Agency advises building owners to install surge arresters to prevent fire outbreaks and protect their equipment following heavy rains with accompanying lightning and thunder.
And that is why we normally use arresters, so that at least when those charge particles are coming, the positive one, the moment it gets to the charge arrestor on top of the building, it's able to arrest it and then move it into the soil. Then there is no problem.
And later, Ghana's next music star beckons as Citi TV and Citi FM's Voice Factory auditions conclude with captivating performances by young talents.
Oh, when will I be free from stress? Oh, when, oh, when, oh, when. Oh, when.
See, I tried to warn you many times for you to keep your pace away from me, but my voice wasn't so loud to be heard. Oh, I'm sorry, but I tried.
The exposure is going to give because Citi TV is big. So, I mean, the Voice Factory is big too. I'm so happy.
All that and more on Citi Prime News, which is live on all affiliates across the 16 regions of the country. In the Western region, we are live on Ajinpa 100.7 in Takwa, Beach FM 105.5 in Takrade. Bono region, we are live on Greener FM 95.9 in Sunyain. Ashanti region, Ajinpa FM 99.9 in Nkawie. Volta region, you are hearing us live on Heritage FM 107.3 in Hohoi and Freedom FM 88.1 in Sogakope. Northern region, Radio Gaki 88.3 in Saboba. Upper East, we are live on Quality FM 88.7 in Garu. And Northeast region, we are live on Nobia FM 98.1 in Nalerigo.
Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Grateful for choosing us. Let's start the bulletin from the Savannah region where 2 babies have died while 3 others are in critical conditions at the St. Anne's Hospital in Damongo after power was disconnected to the facility by the Northern Electricity Distribution Company, NEDCO. Now power to the hospital was disconnected over 4 million cedi debt owed the company. The head of communications and clinical coordinator of the hospital, Dr. Bagbedese Ahmed, told Citi News that 2 babies were lost due to the hospital's inability to transfuse blood. The hospital has suspended deliveries at the hospital due to the power disconnection.
From the very first time they disconnected us, we lost a baby. And the second time, we lost another, making it 2 already. As we speak, there's 1 in critical condition that needs transfusion also. And the reason why we lost the babies was because we needed to transfuse them. Their APs were very low. We needed to transfuse, we couldn't. We spoke to the relatives for the babies to be referred. They didn't have money. We tried involving social welfare, but by the time the negotiations could reach a positive conclusion, the babies had passed out. and we lost them. So it looks like almost every day we are going to have a problem to deal with because of this power outage. And it's pathetic. We currently have 3 at the NICU, and the babies are in critical condition. 2 of the 3 need blood transfusion. We don't know what to do now because the relatives are saying they don't have money, and we know what that means. When you refer them, they won't go, they'll go home. And so for us, as a medical doctor, I cannot refer. Once I refer, it means that I'm giving a death sentence to the baby. So that's what we are currently going through. We are hoping and praying and doing negotiations, hoping that something will come out of it, at least by the close of the week. If they restore power, you can arrest some of these cases.
Dr. Gwiadesi Ahmed is the head of communications and clinical coordinator at the St. Anne's Hospital at Damongo in the Savannah region. Let's go live to that region and speak to my colleague, Richard Fogo. Good afternoon to you, Richard. Many thanks for your time. First, tell us, how did we get to this point? This is the second time the facility has been disconnected off the national grid by NEDCO.
Exactly. Some 4 weeks ago, less than 4 weeks ago, the hospital was first disconnected. You are aware that power distribution companies are on, should I say, manhunt to recover billions of cedis owed it by consumers. And they have been visiting several facilities. Here in Damongo, the fire service was earlier disconnected. The Ghana Education Service suffered the same fate. But a couple of weeks ago, the hospital was disconnected. According to the power distributor, that's NEDCO, they say the hospital is owing them over 4 million Ghana cedis. And so they need the hospital to make payment before they restore power to it. And looking at the nature of the facility and the number of people it serves and the consequences thereafter if power is not restored to it, the regional minister at the time stepped in and managed to get the NEDCO to reconnect the power. But they are giving them 1 week to make settlement of the debt or start a payment plan for them to restore power to the facility, which the hospital failed to do. So last Tuesday, the hospital was disconnected a second time. The hospital says is disconnection, some 2 babies have died. And I was there, I left there just a couple of minutes ago. At the NICU, there are 3 babies there. According to the doctor that you just spoke to, who was on duty, he says 2 of them are in very serious critical condition that needs some blood transfusion. And they risk losing them if nothing of the nature happens. And so the 2 babies that died, according to the doctor, the hospital don't have electricity, so the blood bank is not working. All the blood that was stored there went bad. And the laboratory is also not working, so they cannot even test donors to be able to get blood to serve these babies. So while they were making alternative arrangements to get blood from somewhere else to transfuse on the babies, they lost them. And so 2 more need such care, and they are not sure what will happen to the 3rd baby, which is also at the NICU. So they also have been forced to suspend deliveries, all kinds of deliveries. I was there. When I was there, there was this nursing pregnant woman that is due for CS in a couple of days. The doctor told her that they cannot attend to her because to be able to do that, they need to do some tests and be able to ensure that there is blood that will match her before the CS is done, just in case there's too much loss of blood that they need to, transfuse blood on her. But they are unable to do that, and so the doctor told her she has to go to another facility and get served. And this is the biggest facility in the whole of the municipality. So the situation is very dire. The OPD is locked up. I was there. The consulting rooms are locked up, so the doctors are not attending to any new patients. The laboratories are locked up. Just the records room was open, where if you come and you want a folder, they may give you a folder, but there's no doctor that will attend to you. So that's the situation here in Damongo as far as healthcare delivery is concerned.
Now, what steps have management of the facility taken to either make part payment or fully pay the 4 million cedis debt they owe Nedco?
According to the facility, they have made efforts to pay a certain amount. He didn't disclose to me how much it was, but the Nedco is demanding over 300,000 cedis down payment, and the hospital is unable to raise that amount. According to them, they have never billed any patients for electricity because church facilities have agreement with government not to bill clients for electricity because government will take that cost just to ease the burden on the patient. So over the years, they've not been billing patients. So all the monies they have raised are supposed to be used to repurchase consumables and other things for the hospital. Now, if they have to pay that amount of money, it means they will not be able to supply drugs and other consumables that will be needed to attend to patients, which will mean that they still will not be able to attend to patients. So they say they're working around the clock. They've reported the incident, the situation to the Catholic Health Directorate in Accra, the national level. Initially, they got information that they would be reconnected last Friday, which hasn't happened. Today is Tuesday. It has still not happened. And I must say that, yeah, today is Monday. Sorry, it has still not happened. I must say that it's a very serious situation here. Now, that hospital delivers over 30 babies daily. In some cases, they may get up to 35 to 40 daily. And so, because it's the biggest, all the CHIPS compounds and health facilities here, when it's time for a delivery, as for CHIPS compound, they quickly refer the pregnant woman to the hospital here for delivery. There are a few health centers in the district that are able to conduct deliveries. So the situation here is very good. I visited the maternity block. There are only 4 women there that were delivered long ago, and they are the children that they have at the NICU. So they are just sending pregnant women away, and we don't know where they go. According to the doctor, sometimes when the situation is critical and they refer, and they are not able to afford to leave town, let's say to Tamale or maybe Sola or somewhere to do, they just go home, and we know what the implications are. So he says that they are hoping that by the close of this week, they may be able to come to an agreement and understanding with NIDCO to have the power restored, as negotiations are still ongoing. But that we are not sure will happen even this week.
Very well. Now, per your interactions with NEDCO since this whole incident happened, do you foresee NEDCO putting a human face to this issue and then probably give them another timeline for them to work at getting majority of the monies they owe them paid by the hospital?
The NEDCO will only do that if government steps in, either the Ministry of Health or the Regional Coordinating Council getting the Ministry of Health or Finance to step in and speak to NEDCO to show some human face. Because the situation is that the NEDCO area manager here says his hands are tied. This is a directive that has come from his bosses, his authorities who live in Tamale. And so the negotiations that go on, he is not privy to it to be able to know how that is going. He has been asked that people who are owing so much should be disconnected, and that is what he has done until he gets direct to reconnect. He's unable to do that, and we are also unable to know how the negotiations are going on in Accra. According to them, the situation is now from the Catholic Health Directorate in Accra and NIDCO, and then the Ministry of Health and Finance to see how that can be done. But it's been over a week now running, and that hasn't happened. From my interaction with NIDCO officials, they have nothing to do unless they are directed otherwise. For now, the hospital remains disconnected to power.
Many thanks for your time. Richard Fogo is our correspondent in the Savannah region. The news is that 2 babies have died, while 3 others are in critical condition at the St. Anne's Hospital in Damongo after power was disconnected to the hospital by NEDCO. Kweku will bring us more story.
Let's take you to the Eastern region because police there have begun investigations into the death of a 5-year-old girl at Adar Magazine in the New Drabin South municipality. The girl, according to sources, died after their building collapsed on her during Saturday's downpour. The 5-year-old girl was in the building with her 7-year-old brother when the unfortunate incident occurred. The 2 children were immediately rushed to the Koforidua Central Hospital, where the girl was pronounced dead by medical officers at the facility. The boy, who suffered severe injuries, is still on admission receiving treatment, while the body of the young girl has since been deposited at the Eastern Regional Hospital morgue. Personnel of the National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO, and the Ghana Police Service, who visited the scene, have since commenced investigations.
Now, the man accused of killing his 25-year-old wife with a machete at Nungwa has been remanded by the Teshu Nungwa District Court for the second time to allow prosecutors conduct further investigations into the case. When the suspect appeared before the court today, the prosecutors amended the first charge from causing harm to the use of offensive weapon to commit crime. The suspect, Isaac Newton Kuma, has consequently been slapped with a murder charge and use of offensive weapon to commit harm charges. The case has since been adjourned to June 12, 2023. Meanwhile, family of the deceased, Eunice Ame Na, is appealing for support to take care of her 2 children. Father of the deceased, Michael Tena, has been speaking to City News.
Since they started the problems, the girl was working for herself, taking care of her children. The man doesn't give her, he doesn't take his responsibilities again. She has been doing everything for the children. She has children who she teaches, and then she also works at Lawe. So actually, she's the breadwinner of the family. She has been taking care of the mother and the children. So as at now, it's a great loss to the family. I don't know if we can get aid from somewhere, especially for the children. In their schooling and everything now, things has changed. So we would like to get support from maybe the public who is willing to help. We welcome.
Michael Tena is father to a 25-year-old woman allegedly killed by her husband. Let's now take you to Kumewu in the Ashanti region, where the Electoral Commission says it expects political parties and candidates contesting in Tuesday's by-election to present polling agents who will comport themselves and also comply with laws governing the electoral processes. The Commission is pledging to deliver transparent results in the by-election, but insists polling agents have a key role to play in making the process more credible. Political parties, especially the National Democratic Congress (NDC) and the New Patriotic Party (NPP), have wrapped up campaign activities at Kumewu after weeks of intensified effort to win the parliamentary seat. Over 34,000 voters are expected to vote across 75 polling centers in the area. Ashanti Regional Director of the Electoral Commission, Benjamin Banobio, says the Commission is ready to deliver a credible election.
When we start the election, all that we are requiring from the candidates is for them to provide effective polling agents, not the noisy one, the one who knows the difference between 69 and 96, the one who can understand adding up figures, for them to be at all the polling stations to represent them. They should be there throughout the voting period. During counting, they should be there and observe. After counting, if they are not in agreement, they can call for recounting. And when the counting is done, declaration of results forms will be filled, and they need to sign and then take a copy. That document, the statement of poll and declaration of results at the polling station level, forms the basic document for declaring results at all levels. So when they get it, they should send it to their candidates or their secretariat for them to add them up, collate them. They will have it earlier than the Electoral Commission, or who will wait for the hard copies. And when they have done that, they should move to the collation center, the Electoral Commission Collation Center, the Presby Church in Kumewu, and then If you pick a resource from one center, we will announce it audibly for everyone there to hear. Then they can be cross-checking the figures sent to them by the agent. If there's any anomaly, that's the time for them to bring it up for her to resolve it. If they do a good collation, they should arrive at the same figure or the same figures that the commission will arrive at. And so you see, the system is so transparent and so verifiable. All you need to do is to get a very effective agent to be at your polling station to represent you. So I want to tell the candidates and their supporters, and the voters, and the general public that we have put in place measures to ensure that the results that will be declared will be a true reflection of the desire of the people who voted. So if you have anything to do now, all that you need to do is for the people to go to the centers tomorrow from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. to go and cast their votes. We as a commission will declare the results as it is.
Mr. Banobio has also been explaining how the commission decided to change a symbol for one of the independent candidates on the ballot.
The issue about the two independent candidates, it was not an issue. People decided to make it an issue. What happened? When the last Kwekudia came, he filed his nomination on the last day for filing of, and then the elderly Kwekudia filed his on the first day of submission of the nomination for that, the second and the fifth respectively. So when the last Kwekudia came, you told him then that your symbol resembled that of another candidate who has already filed, so you should go and change it. He said no. We spoke to him, but still he said he would not change it because that is what he has used for his campaign. So we told him that at this level we cannot reject it. We will send it to head office and head office will take a decision on that. When he go to head office, there were a lot of interaction between head office and that Kwekudia. A letter was written to him, several calls were made to him for him to submit a new symbol. In all these, he still stood by his word that he say want to use his bed. Commission did a draft notice of pool. These drafts are done for corrections to be made. So we sent these drafts to the agent, to the candidates, the 4 candidates, for them to go through and see if all their details are correct before we go ahead. That time, Kwekudia has not agreed to change the symbol, and commission was waiting on him to find out what he wants to do before we apply the law. That was why his initial symbol was there. NDC candidate was able to change his picture because of the draft notice of pool that was sent to him. He said his picture was blurred, and so we asked him to bring a picture of his dress, and he brought it and we changed it for him. Kwekudia was supposed to bring a symbol, and he said, no, you should still go by that. But that is against the law. If you look at the CI 27, Regulation 14, 1B and C, it is there, clear, black and white. And so when we're going to print the final notice of pool, commission had to allocate a symbol to Kwekudia. That was why we gave him a hope. So we gave him all the opportunities for him to do the needful. And you see, as a commission, we are guided by rules and regulations and laws. And we cannot allow him to take the elections or the electoral commission to ransom. So that is why we went ahead and gave him the hope.
Benjamin Banobio is the Ashanti Regional Director of the Electoral Commission. Let's go live to the region and speak to my colleague Hafiz Tijani. Hafiz, good afternoon to you. Many thanks for your time. Now, you have been interacting with the Electoral Commission. How prepared are they ahead of the elections tomorrow?
So the commission says it has finished training its polling officers and has also dispatched all materials required for the election to Kumeu, and the distribution will start early in the morning to all the 75 polling stations in the area.
Security-wise, the IGP has been addressing his men. What has he been telling them ahead of tomorrow's by-election?
Well, so the IGP since Saturday has been meeting police chiefs within the region and also some district commanders within the region who are deploying their officers to man the election. And he says that the duty of the police officer at the polling station is to ensure there's law and order, and they should uphold the Constitution of Ghana. They are there to protect lives and property, and they should act as such. And he has been telling them to be very professional in the discharge of their duties. The IGP today is extending that meeting with the political party leaders in or who are contesting in this election, i.e., the NDC, the MPP, and the independent candidates who are contesting. So currently, the IGP is in a crunch meeting with the leadership of the NDC, the MPP, and also the independent candidates who are contesting this election. This meeting, we are told, is to get the political parties to also help the police discharge its duties fairly and also be firm on the ground to ensure there is a smooth process on Tuesday when the election would be done. And the IGP would also be seeking, we are told, to let the political parties speak to their members or their supporters to comport themselves at the various polling stations so that no one would go against the laws of the country.
Very well. Now, you have been in Kumeu in the last couple of days. How is the Kumeu township shaping up with the lead up to this by-election?
Well, it was a charged political atmosphere, except that the political parties have now wrapped up their campaigning activities, and both the MPP and the MPP and the NDC. So the atmosphere in the constituency now is calm. People are going about their normal duties. They are just waiting for Tuesday so they can go out and cast their votes. And the political parties also are expectant of the results of the election, both the NDC and the MPP, as well as the independent candidates who are all hoping to win this seat.
Grateful for your time. We'll come back to you subsequently when you have more from Kumeu. That was my colleague in the Ashanti region, Hafiz Tijani. Kweku would bring us more from the camp of the NDC.
Now, the former president and the NDC flag bearer, John Dramani Mahama, says his recent tour of the country has helped him appreciate the numerous challenges confronting the ordinary Ghanaian. Speaking at a Thanksgiving service at the Ringway Gospel Center of the Assemblies of God Church, Mr. Mahama said the NDC is poised to ease the burden on the citizenry when he wins the 2024 general elections.
I think that exercise in going round really helped the party because it has shaken the base of the party and prepared the party and made it ready for what we're going to confront in 2024. And so we thank God again for that is in the primaries. Aside from that, it gave me the opportunity to go around the country once again. The last time I did was in 2020 during the campaign. And so this time going around the country, one could see what the challenges we're going to face if we do come into office. In the agri sector, issues to do with fertilizer, lack of fertilizer, farming, the cocoa industry, the challenges the farmers are facing, the ordinary drivers and all those people. We met all of them because some of them are delegates. And in our interaction with them, they kept talking about the things that, affect them. So I thank God that I had that opportunity in advance of even the main campaign to begin to understand the challenges that this country is confronted with. And I believe that will prepare us for when by the grace of God, and I didn't say if, when by the grace of God, we are able to steer the affairs of this country again.
John Dramani Mahama is the NDC flag bearer.
This is still the Citi Prime News on 97.3 Citi FM. My name is Hawa Idrisi Mustafa, here with Kweku Idriama, and some stories we've been bringing you this hour. Political activities reach a climax in Ashanti Region's Kumeu constituency with barely 24 hours to the by-election. Meanwhile, the Electoral Commission has issued a stern warning to polling agents in the election to comport themselves during the entire process. And we also brought you a story where the disconnection of power to the St. Anne's Hospital in the Savannah region has led to the death of 2 babies and 3 others in critical condition. Still to come, Ghana Meteorological Agency advises building owners to install surge arresters to prevent fire outbreaks and protect their equipment following heavy rains with accompanying lightning and thunder. We have details of that, plus other stories coming up shortly.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Ajwapa, what's all this condom business? Oh, I've told her over and over again that she won't get pregnant, and she's still insisting. Oh, isn't she the same person who said we would not have sex till we go out for at least 2 years? Eh? For all this time? Oh, and she still can't trust me enough? Abba, when I try to do something small, no, condom this, condom that. So handsome man like me, she probably thinks I have HIV.
Using a condom will protect you and your partner. Condoms are effective for protection against a wide spectrum of STIs and HIV infection. Don't take risks. Use a condom every time. Always come prepared.
This advert is brought to you by the Ghana AIDS Commission.
The international football season has just reached fever pitch, and GoTV will be right there for it all. So get settled into your living room stadium, because you are coming with us to the epic finales of the Premier League, Serie A, La Liga, Europa League, FA Cup, and more. All you have to do is get and stay connected to GoTV, where all the big games keep coming.
Points of world-class difference.
GoTV, love it.
No one stops that.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. Now, the Ghana National Fire Service has called on homeowners of properties that are more than 30 years old to employ the services of certified electricians to check the wiring of their buildings. Recent thunderstrikes and the recording of 10 fire incidents over the weekend in the national capital will have left many concerned about their safety as more rains are predicted in the coming days. Public Relations Officer of the Ghana National Fire Service, ACFO1, Timothy Osafo-Afom, advised property owners to take all precautions to safeguard their homes against fire outbreaks associated with thunderstorms. He spoke on the City Breakfast Show.
Provided the earthing system is working, then we don't have any problems. But it is only when the earthing system is not working well, then the excess power will remain and it will start a fire. So it is important. You see, most of our buildings in town are now more than 30 years. And we have not done any electrical checks on our homes. And that is one of the major reasons why when there are rains, we experience fire outbreaks. So it is important that if you are listening to me, you get a certified electrician to check your wiring systems for you. Sometimes the wiring systems are even out of date. We need to change all. And we are still using. So the little excess current that flows results in fire in our homes. So it is important that once your home is 25 years and over, you get your electrical contractor to do the inspection for you and then implement the recommendation that comes out. When we do this, we'll be able to avoid some of these incidents that occur.
ACFO1 Timothy Osafo-Afom has also been sharing some basic fire drills for homes.
If the meter is on fire, the best thing for you to do is to, if it is safe, to turn off the main switch once it is involving the meter. If you can't turn on the switch, immediately you call the fire service for us to come in. If it is also possible for you to get in touch with electricity companies, you do so. It is important that anytime meters are on fire, the area is isolated. Once it is isolated, then you as the individual can even use water on the burning meter. But to be on the safer side as a sign of caution, don't even attempt, because you may not know whether there is still power flowing in the meter or not. So you just get in touch with the fire service and we will come in. So what you have to do is to sound an alarm for any other person in the premises to get out. Once you get out, you call the fire service. As we are coming in, Then you check whether somebody is trapped in or not. So on our arrival, you just indicate to us that maybe you were four. One is trapped. And then you get us approximate location of the person. Then we can then take it off from there. So when incidents occur, whether you can handle the incident or not, the first point of call is to get to a safer place. Then get the fire service involved. These are the two crucial things that any person should act when there is an incident in your home. Once that is done, and you have called the fire service, if you can, then you start fighting the fire. If you can't, you think that it is not safe to do so, just wait for us to arrive, and then we'll come and handle the issue for you.
You had the Public Relations Officer of the Ghana National Fire Service, ACFO1, Timothy Osafo Afum.
Now, in a related development, the Ghana Meteorological Agency is advising building owners to install surge arresters to prevent fire outbreaks and protect their equipment. Speaking on the City Breakfast Show, the Deputy Director of Forecasting at the Ghana Meteorological Agency, Joseph Potofi, also advised Ghanaians to desist from seeking shelter under tall trees during rains.
So when they develop the lightning, then the striking, the rubbing each other, also develop what you call the thunder. It's just like when you rub a cutlass on the floor, you see lightning, and then you see some noise. It develops some charged particles. And that is why we normally use arresters, so that at least when those charged particles are coming, the positive one, the moment it gets to the charge arrestor on top of the building, it's able to arrest it, and then it moves it into the soil. Then there is no problem. But when you don't have anything, you don't have a charge arrestor, then those particles will pass to whatever you have. And then if you have equipment, it will destroy them. That is why it is not advisable to stay under long trees or under the trees when it is raining. Because when a thunder strikes, yes, it will pass through the tree. And when you're under there, because already maybe you are wearing some slippers, the charge particles cannot pass through you as a human being. So it will kill you instantly. So it is very dangerous when it is raining and you are walking on it. It is very, very dangerous.
So you had there Joseph Potofi, who is the Deputy Director of Forecasting at the Ghana Meteorological Agency.
A professor of finance at the University of Ghana, Godfred Bokpin, has attributed the increase in mobile money transactions to the reduction in the electronic levy from 1.5% to 1%. Total volume of mobile money transactions in the first 4 months of 2023 increased to 550 billion cedis, an increase of over 200 billion cedis same period last year. That's according to the Bank of Ghana's latest economic and financial data. Government was compelled to reduce the e-levy after it failed to reach revenue target. In an interview with Citi News, Professor Godfred Bokpin said the increase in transaction volume is consistent with the people's acceptance of a digital economy.
This is consistent with the trend in terms of the arrival of the fourth industrial revolution predicated on network readiness. So the issue of digitalization is coming home. Ghanaians are increasingly becoming accustomed to digitization, digital apps, because of the convenience it offers. And also the security around it is also quite good and enabling. But apart from that, I think government decision to reduce the e-levy to 1% while keeping the threshold have all contributed. So at the end of the day, you realize that people's behavior towards patronizing e-transactions and the digital apps and the rest of them will scale up. But the other good thing also is that normally when you introduce an intervention, after the few months or so, people begin to develop some kind of coping strategies. Others begin to even overlook it. So I think overall, it's in line. That is why initially when government imposed the e-levy, we felt that it was inconsistent with our digital drive. And that is an emerging area. We needed to grow it and then make sure that we find appropriate way of taxing the gains or the value addition from there. And therefore, so it's good news for us, and we expect that is where the future is actually.
Professor Bokpin also advised government to leverage the gains and create an enabling environment to attract digital foreign direct investment into the country.
we still need a huge investment in the digital space. And Ghana is not attracting enough digital-related FDI, foreign direct investment into Ghana. The digital-related FDI flows are going to the big four on the continent, namely Egypt, Nigeria, South Africa, Kenya. They are scooping almost 92% of all digital-related foreign direct investment to Africa. The other 9% or 8% is what Ghana and the other smaller countries are doing. So there is a need for us to position the country, the economy, as the best destination for digital FDI flows, so that we can leverage on our neighboring countries like Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire, that have the market. We don't have the market, but we can create that enabling environment, take advantage of our peaceful environment, stable political environment, and leverage on sub-regional markets or even the regional market. Because if we did that, Ghana would be better positioned to take advantage of African continental free trade, because we are talking about one big market today. So that is how we should be looking at it. And that is why we felt that the introduction of e-levy in 2022 was an on-go in Ghana's drive for greater digitization.
You had a professor of finance at the University of Ghana, Godfred Bokpin.
Now, Ghana has for 3 consecutive years seen a decline in crude oil production, according to the 2022 Public Interest and Accountability Committee (PIAC) annual report. In 2019, over 71 million barrels of crude was produced, but the figure declined to less than 67 million barrels in 2020, representing 6.32%. It further declined to 55 million barrels in 2021, which is a 17.75% reduction, and then in 2022, it reduced to 51 million barrels. Addressing the media, the vice chairman of PIAC, Nasser Alpha Mohammed, indicated that there is the need for Ghana to speed up the sustainable development of its petroleum resources to reverse the decline in petroleum production through the attraction of new investors as well as early completion of ongoing projects.
For 3 consecutive years, crude oil production has been declining for 3 consecutive years. Tariff 2019, 7.1 plus, 2020, a decline to 6%, 2021 to 55, 2022 51. Yes, so that's declining for 3 consecutive years, and as for this, I've just shown them using the graph. So declining the volume of this decline, that and showing the percentage in decline, 17.75, all the way down to around 5.98%. Total petroleum revenue in 2022 is the highest for a single year since inception of petroleum production in Ghana, with a figure of 1.4 billion.
Vice Chairman of the Public Interest and Accountability Committee, PIAC, Nasser Alpha Mohammed.
You are still listening to the Citi Prime News on 97.3 Citi FM. Still to come, Ghana's next music star beckons as Citi TV and Citi FM's Voice Factory auditions conclude with captivating performances by young talents.
Oh, when will I be free from stress? Oh, when, oh, when, oh, when. Oh, when.
See, I tried to warn you many times for you to keep your pace away from me, but my voice wasn't so loud to be heard.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
1xBet. Easy betting, easy winning. 1xBet, reliable bookmaker that offers you a huge range of bonuses, great odds, and many chances to win. Register now on 1xBet.com.gh and use promo code PLAY1 to get 300% bonus up to 3,445 Ghana cedis on your first deposit. 1xBet gives you more. Gambling can be addictive. Bet responsibly. Not for person under 18 years. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission. City TV is live on DSTV, GoTV, and HD+. On DSTV, find us on channel 363. On GoTV, we're on channel 117, and on HD+, get us on channel 108. On a digital TV, run a new search, but take note that without an antenna, you cannot access City TV. City TV can be accessed on any free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and HD+ boxes. City TV, it's your world.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. Now, Deloitte Ghana, a leading global provider of audit and assurance, consulting, financial advisory, risk advisory, tax and related services, has given some recommendations aimed at fostering long-term economic growth and achieving the Ghana Beyond Aid agenda. The 6 proposals put forth by Deloitte Ghana emphasize prudent fiscal management, strategic resource allocation, and a focus on priority sectors. Delivering the keynote address at the 7th Ghana CEO Summit, the country managing partner of Deloitte Ghana, Daniel Kojo Owusu, urged government to seize the opportunity presented by the IMF program and utilize the upcoming mid-year budget review to re-evaluate the revenue measures introduced in the 2023 budget.
We want the government to use the IMF program as a platform to develop a long-term growth agenda rather than a short-term one. This will help when our economy from a significant donor dependence in the medium to long term to enable us to realize the Ghana Beyond Aid agenda. Ghana has shown excellence as a country in developing policies and programs aimed at transforming the economy. The challenge has been with the monitoring of these programs to ensure they achieve their desired outcome. In this regard, we welcome the $150 billion support facility from the International Development Association to finance public financial management for service programs. We make 2 recommendations. We should enhance the monitoring and evaluation units of all the ministries, departments, and agencies, and provide the needed resources to ensure that all programs are tracked to agree targets or benchmarks. 2, we should embark on comprehensive value for money review of all major government projects before contracts are awarded. This will ensure the country gets the appropriate hand on these.
Daniel Kojo Owusu is country managing partner of Deloitte Ghana.
Now, the University of Ghana Medical Center, UGMC, has successfully undertaken an open heart surgery over a condition known as pulmonary valvoplasty on 3 Ghanaian children. The condition impedes blood flow from the heart into the lungs and can eventually cause breathlessness, heart failure, and other complications due to inadequate oxygen supply to the body if not addressed in a timely manner. In a statement, it was revealed that the UGMC team collaborated with allies from a German medical NGO to undertake the procedure, recording 100% success at the end of the surgery. The UGMC team consisted of Professor Nana Chayao, who is the clinical lead for the pediatric cardiac services at the UGMC, together with staff from the center's pediatric, surgical, and cath lab units.
Now, hundreds of young people aged between 18 and 24 have taken part in the 2-day auditions of Citi FM and Citi TV's much-anticipated music reality show, The Voice Factory. Some participants thrilled the judges with their performances in their bid to be part of the best 10 to start the competition. The following report highlights excerpts of the auditions.
I find you, I give you all you need. I know what you like. Oh yeah, I feel it coming.
The highly anticipated quest for the title of the winner of Ghana's most prestigious reality show, Voice Factory, began over the weekend with hundreds of young individuals partaking in the auditions. The music competition, organized by Citi FM and Citi TV provides a platform for young talents to showcase their extraordinary musical talents. Aspiring participants of the Season 5 edition, aged between 18 and 24 years, trooped into the premises of Citi TV at Tesano and went through registration process. As usual, the anxiety, suspense associated with auditions was experienced. Others had to get their voices cleared and their notes right before meeting the judges. They were called in an orderly manner to meet the judges.
You say I'm crazy, 'cause you don't think I know what you've done. But when you call me baby, I know I'm not the only one.
Well, others tried to impress the judges, but luck was not on their side.
I know say I've been gone for a long while. Maybe they go, but I know the beat.
So I must be very, very, very disappointed. He's not in this house. Steven.
Don't try gangster man. And if you dare try gangster man, don't say me irate.
Thank you for coming. Yeah, I like your white.
It's my talent and the school I completed in the Sunyani region. It's also a music school. So through that I was able to have some idea about music. Until today, I never knew I still have a lot of work to do when it comes to my voice.
The auditions got more intense as the shortlisted participants got one more opportunity to impress the judges during the second round of the day in order to be part of the top 10.
I was a bit tensious, I was a bit scared, but then God has been faithful. I'll earn it.
I see you as a freestyle. I want to see what you can do.
See, I tried to warn you many times for you to keep your pace away from me, but my voice wasn't so loud to be heard. Oh, I'm sorry, but I tried.
Sorry, too, but you have a good voice.
Oh, thank you.
I'm excited. At least I get to show them the other version of me, so I'm being given a yes.
Okay. You see this as a big platform for you as a young talent?
I really do, because it's not the money is important, but it's not only about that. I mean, the exposure is going to give me, because Citi TV is big. So, I mean, the Voice Factory is big too. I'm so happy.
Following the completion of the audition for the 2023 Voice Factory, the next process is to look out for the ones who qualify to be part of the main competition.
We've got some really good singers, and I think they are workable. I was impressed by a few of them, which is a good thing, because we want really amazing singers on the show this season. So I think so far, so good. Well, I'll say from experience, I've seen people actually come from nothing to something. And it's just because they were not given the opportunity to actually be in that environmental space. And I think Voice Factory is just doing that. And I think it's the right thing. Definitely they'll be coached. There's a music director, there's a band, all these things will play a lot in what they're going to get and what's going to improve, their talents, basically.
The top 10 will be selected to be in the contest. What are you looking out for from these contestants?
I'm looking for a lot of things, but I can summarize it into dedication, actually putting themselves into everything that they want to do, listening to instructions, advice, especially getting themselves in a space whereby they can improve themselves or their voices during the period of the show. So they need to learn.
Apioko Serioma Sean Abbey is head of programs production at Citi FM and Citi TV, and she speaks about the processes.
They've blown my mind. This isn't the first time I've been on Voice Factory, right? Years ago, I began this journey. The kinds of voices, and they're so fresh, so new, green, unassuming. Somebody walks in and, you can't really tell, and I've learned this over time, you can't really tell what's going to come out of a person's mouth just by looking at them. And there have been so many surprises along the way. But I can tell you that by the time we do get around to whittling down to the top 10, and that's going to be very difficult, I must assure you, we will have a very bold, bright, and stellar top 10. It's going to be a fierce competition. And again, it's not just about competing to win 20,000 Ghana cedis. Let me not dumb it down to 10. It's 20,000 Ghana cedis, right? It's not just about the bragging rights. But the kind of judges we've also had, you've seen them. These are professionals who have carved niches for themselves, who know the business of music. They know how to turn nothing into stardom.
Okay, so with the top 10 finally, how are they going to be announced and on what platforms will they be announced on?
We'll do a big reveal, of course, Citi TV, on Citi FM. We just may invite you. Maybe some of you may be invited to come for the reveal, but people should stay tuned to Citi TV, Citi FM. Also follow all our social media pages and see. You'll see the judges conference, for example, where they will sit down and whittle down to the 10 that we need to go into the live shows. On the 10th of June, that's when we will begin the season, where everything that we've done here today, people are just getting snippets of it through your report and, all the things that we're showing on our social media pages, but people haven't seen it all put together. So from the 10th of June, the season begins, and you see that. And then we go into the live shows, and people should get ready to vote. People should get ready to cry. People should get ready to get attached and fall in love with the people who they're seeing on the screen. And it will be a brilliant experience, I can assure you that.
The auditions are over. The judges will be left to make that tough decision of selecting the top 10 who would be in the competition proper. That's the season 5 of Voice Factory on Citi TV. Now, these top finalists will eventually go through a thrilling journey navigating through 12 weeks of themed competition. There will be a series of elimination and then finally to the grand finale. Stay tuned on Citi TV as we bring you episodes of the auditions. Reporting for Citi News, Akosia Ochre.
Let's bring you some more stories. And the school feeding caterers say they are yet to hear from the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection on their proposed increase in the feeding grant for the school feeding program. This comes after the International Monetary Fund's Mission Chief for Ghana, Stefan Rode, emphasized that the new IMF program will boost allocations towards the school feeding program in the 2023 budget. Speaking to Citi News, the Secretary for the School Feeding Caterers Association, Dorothy Ofori Sapon, says the caterers will remain on strike until government pays their arrears and increase the feeding grants.
Now, we've not heard from them, and so we are all waiting patiently to hear from them. Nothing has been mentioned to us. It was the minister herself who called the other time that very soon she will come and meet us. And so we are just waiting for her. She didn't fix a date or a time, and so we are just waiting. I know now the attention is all on Kumawu. And so we are hoping that after that election, they will come back to also let us hear from them. But now we are waiting. Oh, we are still on strike. We are still on strike until they pay us and then they mention the increment. We are still on strike. But I think some are doing it, not even up to 5% of the whole nation.
That was the Secretary for the School Feeding Caterers Association, Dorothy Ofori Sapon. And that's how we wrap up today's edition of the Citi Prime News, which has been live from our studios in Adabraka, Accra. The news was also live on all affiliates across the 16 regions of the country. Western Region, Ajunpa FM in Tekwa, Beach FM in Tekra, the Bono Region, Greener FM in Sunyang, Ashanti Region in Carrier FM, Ajunpa FM, I beg your pardon, in Nkaria, Volta Region, Heritage FM in Hohoi, Freedom FM in Sogakope, Northern Region, Radio Gaki in Saboba, Upper East, we were live on Quality FM in Garu, and Upper Northeast Region, we were live on Nobia FM in Nalerigo. Please log on to citynewsroom.com for more stories. My name is Hawa Idrisu Mustafa, and I was here with
Kweku Ediamansa,
Nashika Caesar is up next with the afternoon's edition of City Business News. Many thanks for your company and do have a great afternoon.